What up, YouTube? Sunday morning. Look at me getting a jump on the day. When was the last time I had a video posted this early? Answer is never. Second game of a back-to-back against Buffalo last night. Home and home series. The Leafs were at home. Sheldon Keefe's first game as a Leaf head coach at home, so it was special for him. And it was as I expected after the last game. The Leafs had a much better effort on this night than they did on the Friday in Buffalo. It was still an adventure defensively. Like sometimes they'd have five guys down all by the goal line, and you're going, oh my god. But they got it done. Fred was really good. He made some really good saves. The Leafs outplayed the Sabres for the most part. They outshot them by a fair margin. Had more face-off wins, yada yada, all that stuff. They went 1-for-1 on the power play, 2-for-2 on the penalty kills. So everything was kind of was just the way it should be. Again, it was an adventure defensively at times, so I hope they find a way to straighten all that out. But yeah, it was. We were actually at the theater again last night, so I was following along on my phone, and then we watched the end of the game once we got home. The scoreless first period. In the second period, early in the period, the Leafs were on a power play, and there was a nice, pretty little passing play down in the right kind of corner, and Nylander walked in and roofed one backhand. And then same thing in the third period on the opposite side. Ristolainen, of all people, was able to, they just kind of let him walk from the right wall right towards the front of the net and bang it past Fred. And nobody took him, which I hate it when guys are just allowed to walk in. Somebody just break off from what you're doing and go hit this guy or something. Like, even if he passes off and that guy gets the goal, at least make it hard on them, you know? So that was kind of disappointing to see the Sabres tie it up early in the third on a goal like that. That kind of rubbed me the wrong way. But, and the Leafs had kind of, in the third period, you know, teams sometimes they go into this defensive shell when they have a lead, even if it's just a one-goal lead like they have, and they stop playing, and then inevitably they get scored on, and okay, we got to go back to work sort of thing. And that's kind of what happened last night. And I also noticed they're doing this new thing. It's like it's a kind of high flip to center ice or the other blue line, where they just kind of, to get out of trouble, they just flip it up and hope one of their speedy forwards can race under it and pick it up. And it worked a fair amount of times too. A lot of guys caught up to it and at least made a little something happen. And other times not so much, but you know what, if it helps them defensively, whatever. Go for it. Overtime was quite an entertaining affair. Buffalo had the early advantage. They got 3-on-3 overtime on those rinks is like, it's basically a war of attrition in terms of puck possession. Whoever gets the puck first is usually 99 times out of 100 going to have the first couple really good chances, and that's kind of the way it was. Buffalo got possession first. They got some really good chances. Fred, who had played a really good game up to that point, continued to just stonewall them with a couple of really big saves. And then in the end, the Leafs got some momentum going, and then Kapanen and Tavares exchanged the puck, and Tavares let one rip from beyond the face-off dot, and it just it went through a couple of Sabres defenders and hit the second guy and just kind of bounced up and in under the bar, and that was the winner. So the Leafs win 2-1 in overtime with a much better effort. I guarantee to win. Remember, I guarantee to win. Yeah. Complete luck, of course. Yeah, so now that they're through that big kind of road trip, they're going to be at home a bit more now, and they're on a bit of a roll. 4 out of 5, I think they've got the last since Keefe took over, so there's some points in the bank. They're beating division rivals. The Habs, suddenly they suck, which we all know they do, but they're finally starting to play like the Habs should play, so that's nice. So pretty soon they'll probably be below the Leafs and further out of the picture, and it'll be probably back to the regular situation of the Leafs chasing the Bruins for the first in the Northeast, or I don't know whatever division is called now. And yeah, so that's basically it. A Saturday night game, Hockey Night in Canada. Didn't get to watch it all, but got to watch the end of the game, and it was a win, so I'm happy. And I'll be back in the near future with more stuff. Toodaloo.